The family group chat exploded at 9:47 a.m. on a Tuesday. Mom, James found a wonderful opportunity. A private island in the Bahamas distress sale, only $2.4 million. We're all going to split it, family compound. Dad, your brother's really outdone himself this time. Smart investment. Great family bonding. James, yeah, the owner abandoned it years ago. Some woman who inherited it and couldn't maintain it. Banks forcing the sale. We move fast, we get oceanfront property for nothing. I stared at my phone. Put down my coffee. Read the messages again. I was 31 years old. I'd inherited Caye Celeste, a 12-acre private island in the Exumas, from my grandmother 3 years ago. I'd spent $4.2 million renovating it. Solar infrastructure, desalination plant, deepwater dock, main residence, 2 guest cottages. The island was registered in my name with the Bahamian government. Current market value, approximately $22 million. And my brother was trying to sell it for $2.4 million as a distress sale. I opened the property listing he'd attached. Photos of my island. My dock. My solar panels. My guest cottages with the custom teak furniture I'd had shipped from Indonesia. Listing description. Rare opportunity. 12-acre private Bahamian island, previously owned by deceased estate. Minimal improvements, seller motivated. Asking $2.4 million, will consider all reasonable offers. Contact James Martinez, authorized family representative. Authorized family representative. I took a screenshot. Then I opened my banking app and navigated to the account connected to the Bahamian Sovereign Wealth Fund where I'd placed the island in a protected trust. The trust that made it legally impossible to sell without my biometric authorization and approval from 3 separate trustees. Then I called my attorney in Nassau. Catherine, it's Emma. I need you to do something immediately. The investigation, 24% mark. Catherine Rodriguez was 63, a specialist in Bahamian property law, and had handled my grandmother's estate. She did not tolerate fraud. Your brother is attempting to sell your island? Her voice was ice. The island held in an irrevocable trust with biometric security? Yes. He's listed it for $2.4 million through a luxury real estate broker in Miami. He's claiming it's abandoned property from a deceased estate. That's not fraud. That's multiple counts of fraud, real estate fraud, identity fraud, possibly wire fraud if any deposits cross state lines. The Bahamas takes property crimes very seriously, especially involving foreign nationals attempting to manipulate island sales. What do I need to do? Nothing. Let him proceed. The moment any buyer attempts due diligence, they'll discover the property is held in an active trust with a living beneficiary. The title search will reveal he has no legal authority. But Emma, she paused. If you want to make this truly memorable, I suggest we let him get further along. Accept an offer. Let him think he's succeeded. Then activate the trust's fraud protection protocols. What do those protocols do? They trigger an immediate investigation by Bahamian financial authorities, freeze any related accounts, and automatically notify international fraud prevention agencies. It's designed to protect high-value properties from exactly this kind of scheme. Do it. You're certain? This will involve your family in a criminal investigation. I thought about James. 28 years old, unemployed for 4 years, living in mom and dad's basement. The same James who'd borrowed $15,000 from me 2 years ago for a business opportunity, and never paid it back. The same James who told everyone at Thanksgiving that I'd gotten lucky, inheriting Grandma's island instead of acknowledging the decade I'd spent visiting her, caring for her, helping manage her properties. I'm certain. The offer, 38% mark. By Thursday, James had an offer. The group chat erupted with excitement. James, guys. We got an offer. $2.6 million all cash, closing in 10 days. Russian buyer, very motivated. We're going to be rich. Mom, oh James, you're so clever. Emma never even visited that island. Such a waste. Now it'll actually be worth something. Dad, split 4 ways, that's $650,000 each. Best investment I never made. Face with tears of joy. James, actually I'm taking a 40% finder's fee since I put this together. But still $390,000 each for you guys. Not bad for an abandoned island Emma didn't want. I didn't respond. Just forwarded the messages to Catherine. She called immediately. He's found a buyer. Russian national named Dmitry Volkov, supposedly cash buyer. I've already run a background check. Volkov is real, but he's a known associate of various questionable business ventures. He likely has no idea the property isn't actually for sale. What happens when they try to close? The title company will require proof of ownership. James will need to produce documents showing he has authority to sell. He won't be able to. But here's where it gets interesting. He's already accepted a $260,000 deposit. 10%. That deposit went into an escrow account. He accepted money? Yes. Which means he's now committed wire fraud. The moment that deposit crossed state lines into escrow, he violated federal law. I've already notified the FBI's International Fraud Division and Bahamian financial authorities. They're watching. When do they move? At closing. When he attempts to transfer title he doesn't have. That's when the trust's fraud protocols activate and law enforcement closes in. The family meeting, 48% mark. Saturday morning mom called. Emma, sweetheart, we're having a family meeting this afternoon about the island sale. You should come. We need to discuss how to split the money fairly. Split what money? The sale. James found a buyer. Aren't you excited? Your share is $390,000. Mom, I can't sell the island. I don't own it. Confused silence. What do you mean you don't own it? Grandma left it to you. I put it in an irrevocable trust 3 years ago. It can't be sold without approval from 3 trustees and biometric authorization from me. James has neither. Well, that's just paperwork. You can override that, can't you? For family. No. The whole point of an irrevocable trust is that it can't be overridden. The island is protected. Emma, don't be difficult. James worked very hard to find this buyer. The least you can do is cooperate. Mom, James doesn't have legal authority to sell property he doesn't own. This isn't about cooperation. It's about fraud. Fraud? That's your brother. How dare you accuse? I'm not accusing. I'm stating a fact. He listed property that isn't his. He accepted a deposit for a sale he can't complete. That's fraud. Multiple kinds. She hung up. The family meeting happened without me. I got updates through the group chat. Dad, Emma refuses to cooperate with the sale. Typical. Always has to make everything complicated. James, don't worry, I have a plan. The buyer doesn't care about trust paperwork. We'll do a quick claim deed and sort it out after. Mom, Emma's always been selfish. We raised her better than this. I forwarded everything to Catherine. The closing, 62% mark. Tuesday, 2 p.m. The scheduled closing at a Miami title company. I wasn't invited, obviously. But Catherine had an investigator observing and the FBI had agents ready. At 2:47 p.m. my phone rang. Catherine. It's happening. James presented forged ownership documents. A fabricated deed claiming you'd transferred the island to him last year. The title company attorney spotted it immediately. The signatures don't match, the notary seal is fake, and the trust records show no such transfer ever occurred. What's James saying? He's claiming it must be a clerical error. He's insisting the sale proceed anyway, saying he'll fix the paperwork later. The Russian buyer is furious. He's threatening to sue for the deposit back plus damages. James is panicking. And law enforcement? FBI agents just entered the building. Bahamian financial authorities have frozen the escrow account. James is about to be arrested. At 3:12 p.m. the group chat exploded. James. Emma, what did you do? James. FBI agents just arrested me. James. You called the FBI on your own brother. I didn't respond. Just opened my banking app and transferred $22 million from my investment account to the Bahamian Sovereign Wealth Fund. The final phase of upgrading the island trust to maximum protection status. The transfer triggered automated notifications to all relevant authorities confirming the property's secured status and identifying any fraudulent activity. My phone buzzed with the confirmation. Sovereign fund transfer. $22 million completed. Property secured. Fraudulent listing detected. Authorities notified. The aftermath, 72% mark. James was charged with wire fraud, real estate fraud, and forgery. The FBI agent handling the case called me Wednesday morning. Ms. Martinez, I'm Agent Carver with the FBI's Economic Crimes Unit. I need to ask you some questions about your brother's attempted sale of your property. Of course. Were you aware he was attempting to sell K. Celeste? Not until I saw the listing in our family group chat. That's when I contacted my attorney in Nassau. Did you authorize him to act as your representative in any capacity? Never. I've had no business dealings with my brother. The island is held in an irrevocable trust that he has no connection to. The forged documents he presented, the deed claiming you'd transferred the property to him, those signatures don't match your documented signature. Were you aware he'd fabricated these documents? Not until the title company discovered it. But it doesn't surprise me. James has a history of financial creativity. Agent Carver's voice went dry. That's a diplomatic way of putting it. We've found evidence he's attempted similar schemes before. Smaller scale, but the pattern is clear. This case is particularly egregious because he targeted a family member's property and involved an international buyer, which elevates the charges significantly. What's he facing? Wire fraud alone carries up to 20 years. Add the forgery, the real estate fraud, the international component. Realistically, he's looking at 7 to 10 years in federal prison. The Russian buyer is also filing a civil suit for fraud and emotional distress. Your brother is in serious trouble. The family response, 78% mark. Dad called that evening. Furious. You had your brother arrested? He's in federal custody because of you. He's in federal custody because he committed multiple felonies trying to steal my property. Steal? He was trying to help the family. That island is just sitting there unused. It's not unused. I visit 4 times a year. I rent it out occasionally to carefully vetted guests. It generates income and appreciates in value. And more importantly, it's mine. Not James's. Not the family's. Mine. He made a mistake. He forged legal documents, accepted $260,000 under false pretenses, and attempted to defraud an international buyer. Those aren't mistakes. Those are crimes. You could have just told him no. You didn't have to destroy his life. I did tell him no. 3 years ago when he asked to borrow the island for a business venture. I said no. He apparently decided to take it anyway. We're your family. And that's supposed to make fraud acceptable? Dad, he tried to sell property worth $22 million for $2.4 million and keep most of the money. He wasn't trying to help the family. He was trying to help himself. If you don't drop the charges, you're not welcome in this family anymore. I can't drop federal charges. The FBI doesn't work that way. But honestly, Dad, a family that thinks stealing from me is acceptable isn't a family I want to be part of. He hung up. Mom sent a long email about forgiveness, family bonds, and how I'd always been cold and unforgiving. I didn't reply. The plea deal, 85% mark. James took a plea deal in August. 6 years in federal prison, $260,000 restitution to the Russian buyer, $2.4 million restitution to me for attempted fraud, symbolic, he'd never pay it, and permanent prohibition from real estate transactions. His attorney called me before sentencing. Ms. Martinez, your brother wants to speak with you. He'd like a chance to apologize. No. He's facing 6 years in prison. A word from you to the judge might. Might what? Reduce his sentence for trying to steal $22 million from me? I don't think so. He's your brother. He's a criminal who targeted me specifically because he thought family loyalty would keep me from reporting him. He was wrong. I hung up. The sentencing was in September. I attended, sat in the back of the courtroom and watched James stand before the judge in an orange jumpsuit, looking smaller than I remembered. The judge was a woman in her 60s, severe and unimpressed by James's tears. Mr. Martinez, you attempted to defraud your own sister out of property worth over $22 million. You forged documents, deceived buyers, and showed no remorse until you were caught. This wasn't a moment of poor judgment. This was a calculated scheme that took weeks to plan. The court sentences you to 72 months in federal prison, followed by 3 years supervised release. You will pay restitution to all victims. You are prohibited from any real estate transactions during your lifetime. The gavel fell. James looked back at the gallery. Found me. The expression on his face was pure hatred. I left before he could say anything. Epilogue 6 months later. 94% mark. I visited K. Celeste in March. Flew into Nassau, took the ferry to Exuma, then my private boat to the island. The solar panels gleamed in the sun. The main house was exactly as I'd left it. White walls, teak floors, windows overlooking the turquoise water. My phone buzzed. Email from Catherine. Emma, the Russian buyer's lawsuit against James was settled. He's on the hook for $480,000 in damages plus legal fees. Obviously he can't pay from prison, so it'll follow him for life. Also, your parents tried to claim they had a legal interest in the island through family investment. I disabused them of that notion. They're appealing, but they'll lose. The trust is airtight. Separately, I've had 3 inquiries from luxury rental agencies about K. Celeste. At current market rates, you could earn $400,000 annually just from high-end vacation rentals. Let me know if you're interested. Catherine. I stood on my dock looking at my island. The island grandma left me because I'd cared about her, not her money. The island I'd renovated with my own funds. The island James thought he could steal because I was just his sister, and family wouldn't fight back. He'd been wrong. I wrote back to Catherine, set up the rental program, and send me the paperwork to fully fund the trust for the next 50 years. I want this island protected long after I'm gone. My phone buzzed again. The family group chat. I'd muted it but never left. Mom, we hope you're happy. Your brother is in prison and this family is destroyed. All because you couldn't share. I finally typed a response. Me, I didn't destroy this family. I protected what was mine. There's a difference. James is in prison because he committed federal crimes. I'm on my island because I earned it. We all made choices. These are the consequences. Then I deleted the group chat. The water was perfect. The sun was warm. My island was secure. And nobody, not family, not fraudsters, not anyone, would ever take it from me. Not ever again.